Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, Washington. Delta Dental is on a mission. Our state has a lot to smile about, and we think those smiles should be healthy and bright. That's why we support our Cora Foundation Smilemobile. This dental office on wheels provides checkups and oral health education to communities that need it most. The Smilemobile has reached over 44,000 children and families across Washington. See how the Smilemobile is getting us closer to a 100% cavity-free state at cavityfreewa.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, you know me, I'm not really a pet person, so whenever there's a video like this going around on the internet, I'm like, okay, it's weird, man. There's a woman.
This is weird, man.
There's a woman and her parrot in this video, and the woman's parrot apparently does not want her going for a walk, so they end up getting into an argument about it. The woman and her parrot. But the parrot, you know what? The parrot does change its mind after she gives it a kiss.
I'm just going for a walk. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back. Oh, it's only going to be 45 minutes, and I'll be back. 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes? No, I can't even go for 30 minutes? You want me to? Oh, my God, why? I'm just going to go for 30 minutes. Yeah. I'll be back. I'll be back, okay? Yeah, you're cuter. I love you, too. Okay, bye.
Was it anyone else? But I could understand it at the end.
Yeah, at first it was like, and then all of a sudden it's like, I love you.
I know.
Like how all of a sudden it's speaking just fine.
Yeah, I felt like the translator didn't kick in, like somebody forgot to put the Apple Translate app on or something, and then finally they did.
I don't want to typecast somebody, but how much do you want to bet she's single? Not the parrot, the woman.
Yeah,
parrot's probably in a relationship.
Well,
with the woman.
I mean, the parrots are the most annoying pets.
Oh, dude,
ever.
yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Why? Have you ever had one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God, yes.
Wait, you had a parrot?
Oh, yeah.
You had like a pirate phase or something?
Well, no, it wasn't like most of the pets in my house, they were not mine, Rev.
It was one of your kids?
I think it was my wife's. And
okay.
Do you guys remember the bird we had? You guys
Sarah remembers.
Yeah, okay. So we did have a bird.
But was it a parrot?
Yeah. A parrot, parakeet. It was some kind of bird thing. I don't know.
Parrot or a parakeet? Those are totally
was it a
different.
Pigeon? Did it speak?
No, I think maybe it was a parakeet. It didn't speak.
That is not the same thing.
But they still squawk and annoy the hell out of you.
Yeah, but I think having a parrot that actually have a conversation with you, if you had a parrot,
oh no.
Boy, because they pick up on the things that the owner says.
Yeah.
That thing would just be yelling and nerd raging at everyone.
God, could you imagine BJ Parrot?
Oh, yeah, well, in the old days, you're absolutely right. BJ Parrot would have been the greatest.
Like, why? Why?
Yeah. We had a parakeet. Oh, you
Okay.
know, and those things they're annoying. And the parrots don't sound like you get better step up.
Well, now I'm wondering.
What are you wondering?
If this woman was like hanging out with her parrot, who also was hanging out with Matthew McConaughey, potentially in the middle of a passionate moment, what that would sound like.
Oh, well, you know what, Steve? Luckily for you, you need wonder no more.
I'm just going for a walk. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back. It's only going to be 45 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, I can't even go for 30 minutes. You want me to? Oh, my God. I'm just going to go for 30 minutes. Yeah. I'll be back. I'll be back, okay? Yeah, you're cuter. I love you too, okay?
See, this is a cool parrot right here. And the Orgasmatron parrot is cool too. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's the right.
Oh, now we got turtles.
Oh, turtles are always jealous.
Yeah, and the turtles are always welcome because I like
turtles are always welcome.
Yeah, I like turtles. That's why. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. See?
Oh, dear.
Yeah. This is what we want. Thank God. There he is. There's my boy. That's the guy.
That's the lazy turtle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like turtles.
Yeah.
I like fried chicken.
Well, there we go. That's the perfect way to end it all right there.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, Washington. Delta Dental is on a mission. Our state has a lot to smile about, and we think those smiles should be healthy and bright. That's why we support our Cora Foundation Smilemobile. This dental office on wheels provides checkups and oral health education to communities that need it most. The Smilemobile has reached over 44,000 children and families across Washington. See how the Smilemobile is getting us closer to a 100% cavity-free state at cavityfreewa.com.
Throughout history, electricity has inspired some pretty incredible inventions, like smartphones and those little robot vacuums people name like pets. Of all the great things, nothing compares to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. 100% electric, AR heads-up display, pixel-inspired light clusters. Introducing the first-ever Hyundai Ioniq 5. Your journey at its most evolved.
Extremely limited availability. Available in select states only. Contact your Hyundai dealer for availability details.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. A guy who got bullied in school wanted to prank people, so Vice News sent a cooler, better-looking body double to his high school reunion.
I want them to do that for me. I mean, good luck finding better looking.
Yeah.
Can't polish this turd.
Unfortunately, it didn't really work because too many people realized, wait, this isn't you. But he ended up finding out that a lot of people really did like him back then.
I want to send a hotter, more successful lookalike to my 10-year high school reunion.
Oh, hi, Katie. How are you?
You're not Steve Festa.
Yeah.
No, you're not. What's my last name?
It's been a long time, Katie. I did have a little bit of a crush on you, so.
Tell me something about me.
You're beautiful. That's one.
No. Well, thank you. Something about me previous. You don't look like him even. They didn't do a good job. Because I've been waiting to find Steve and talk to him. You're not Stephen Festo.
Stephen Festo? No, you're not.
I did not anticipate this in any way, and I didn't think that I was still relative in their thoughts, even at 10 years after high school, but I got proven wrong.
I'm looking at the picture. He looks nothing like the guy.
Yeah, I mean, really, find somebody that looks
That's
like
even
you.
funnier.
Yeah, that's
right.
nuts. No wonder they thought it wasn't him, because it's only been 10 years. You're not going to change that much in 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. If this is like the 20-year, I almost feel like you could kind of get away with it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Especially if you haven't gone. Like, I could have done it.
Right.
Because they hadn't, this was my 40th. I had never gone. So they could have, anybody could have walked in, and if they semi-resembled me or resembled a good-looking older man, they'd be, all right, it must be you because you've never come to these and I haven't seen you in 40 years.
I do love the idea of doing something like that. That seems like that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially you have them wired so you can get the reactions and stuff. That girl sounded drunk too, by the way.
He needed to have an earpiece like they do in all the mission, so he could say she's got a question for you. What do I say?
I know. I like his response. You're very pretty.
Yeah,
and it's like, Mama, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've never gone to a high school reunion. So I just never had any interest.
I actually went to mine and I loved it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, you run into people you thought, didn't know anything about you, or you thought you would have nothing in common with. And I became friends with somebody I did not know in high school. And she's like, hey, you always seemed really cool and I always wanted to talk to you. And we ended up becoming friends. So it was actually really cool. And you kind of build it up in your head like everyone's much more successful and happier than me. And everyone's kind of the same. We're not really, everyone hypes it up too much.
See, for me, I didn't go to mine, and it was just because of the thought process of it's only been 10 years. And to me, with 10 years, it was all still kind of like a big contest to see what this. I think I'll go to my like 25 year, because at that point, we're all in our 40s,
It's a big moment.
Yeah, we don't really care anymore. And it's like, I don't care if you got a better job than me. I don't care who you married. It's more of just like, hey, I'm seeing old friends.
It kind of would be fun. Now, thanks to Facebook, I've reconnected with like a handful of high school buddies and ones that I actually like. Like there's a couple I'm just like, oh man, I now know why I didn't like you back then. You're just as insufferable as you were then. You just suck as a human. But there's a good enough number of people that if I went back, I'd be like, okay, I want to go seek out these guys and we could go have a drink and just kind of reminisce and see where they're at in their life. But I agree, like, yeah, going 25 years would be kind of a fun way to do it, just because it's like, it's been forever since I've seen you guys.
Yeah, and I did like 35 years. I think I went to the 5-year one, and then I didn't go back until the 40-year. And man, Vicky's right, and this guy too. You don't know who liked you. I had a crush on a girl in my art class, but I always thought she was annoyed with me, so I never did anything. And I still tried to do jokes and whatever to try to get her to say something. And from my perspective, she never said anything. Then I sit down with her at the table at the 40-year reunion. She comes over and she goes, I am so glad you came. I come to these reunions all the time, and you're never here. You don't know how much I loved you in art class. I thought you were the most awesome guy in the world. And I'm like, oh my God, the girl I had a crush on really thought I was cool, and I never did anything. I never tried to get a date.
Yeah.
God, I was like, I'm an idiot. This whole time I'm like, oh, nobody likes me. Nobody cares about me. And the one girl who I liked actually thought I was cool.
And here you are, just think you sold yourself short.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. How do you tell young people to not do that? To just take a shot?
I don't think you can. I think it's just like, it's one of those things that you don't find out until you're older. And you're like, I wish I could tell the young version of me. Because an older version, what are you going to go up to some random guy and be like, hey, look, you're hollering at that girl at your high school. She wants you. They're not going to listen to you.
Hey, just, you don't know if she does or doesn't.
And it would be an awkward conversation if you just went up to a random high schooler.
Yeah, that's a good point.
See that girl you're talking to? She totally is down to hang out with you.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be good either. I probably would get arrested.
No?
Yeah, especially since I only have a white van, so that's not good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't invite him on the van.
Yeah, I probably don't. Yeah.
So since I feel like with social media, I can reach out to anyone at school that I've missed, so I don't go to any of the reunions.
Yeah, I got added to a Facebook group for like my high school recently, and everyone in there was just like, hey, and I was like, I don't really want to talk to any of you.
Wow. Okay, then.
Just like, why did I accept
But you should post that. Like, y'all are blocked.
Yeah.
Don't even bother reaching out to me.
When I was
unfollowed all of you.
I considered going to my 10-year until they told me I had to pay, and I was like, I'm out.
Well, of course you got to pay.
Yeah, who else is going to pay for this
venue?
I just didn't want to.
Danny, you think they're going to put it on for free?
Yes.
Well, who pays for it then?
I don't know. The school.
Okay.
What's the old saying? Ass grass in high school reunions. Nobody rides for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what they say?
That's what my father told me.
Oh, okay.
Danny, I mean, at least somebody's putting it together. You don't have to do that. You just pay. That was the easiest thing in the world was to just go, I'll pay somebody, and they put on they get the hall, they get the place to go.
I'm not paying $350 to go to a high school reunion.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like $50.
No, $350.
$350.
Oh, yeah. What the hell are you getting?
I don't know.
Does that count the hotel as well?
There was no hotel. It was just a dinner and like booze.
$350?
That better include all the girls that went to your high school and are now strippers, because otherwise it seems like that's a ridiculous amount of money.
Was it at least an open bar?
I don't think it was open bar.
What?
I think it was like something like 2 or 3 drink max, because it was at an actual place, so they couldn't overserve you.
But that's still
what kind of place won't
$350?
overserve you? That's not my kind of place.
How do you have a high school reunion and not overserve everybody?
I think they gave some kind of like Eldorado, that was the name of my high school.
It's New
like
Mexico.
swag bag or something like that. But
I don't, for $350, I don't want a damn tank top.
That's what I'm saying.
I want alcohol.
I think only like maybe 35 people went.
Well, that's because they charge $350.
Yes.
Who
that's
was in
insane.
charge of that?
Yeah, that was bad.
Our president school.
Well, that person deserved to be bullied.
Yeah.
I agree.
Their choice of money.
Yeah, that wasn't a smart move. At least I don't think it was. But then that's New Mexico, Steve. I mean, they had bad pizza, bad high school reunions.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, ours was free because we just did it at a bar. Like, all right, everyone just show up at this bar, because we couldn't agree on anything and we couldn't find a place that would house it.
So then how is it free?
It was free. We just showed up and we just bought our own stuff. We didn't have to pay
Oh, well, yeah, but all right.
Yeah,
See,
so
I
we
mean,
just bought our own
free
drinks and
entrance.
food, free entrance.
Well, that's the same thing. I mean, we went to a place where the food was paid for, but yeah, I could have just paid for the food myself either way.
I'd almost be down to show up and be like, hey, let's just go to the bar next door and avoid all the costs. Like, reach out to the people that I do want to see and just be like, why don't we just skip this whole thing, post up at Buffalo Wild Wings, get wasted, and then crash the party.
Wow.
No?
You guys are the outsiders.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're
I mean,
living
I
on
have to
the
say,
edge, bro.
You know what was cool is when you get going, the longer the time goes by, it's only the cool kids that organize these things, and you realize, hey, you know what? Now I'm hanging with the cool kids because they're the only ones that do this stuff.
Only took you 40 years.
Yeah, well, it took and I was really surprised at who I was rubbing shoulders with, and the guy is right. There were people that came up to me from the Cool Kids Club that I thought, well, hopefully they're not mean to me. And they were all like, dude, you were the great. And then all of a sudden they're saying all these nice things going back to high school memories of me. And I'm like, well, why didn't I get invited to any of the Cool Kids stuff? If you thought, I mean, like, my brain was like, they really are saying stuff that happened and they're saying, so they're not making stuff up. But it was like, do you think I could have just went over and said hi and they probably would have let me in? They probably would have.
Maybe.
They probably just figured, well, he doesn't want to hang with us. It's so weird how, your brain just goes, oh, the cool kids won't let me in, but they probably would have if I just went over.
I like my grade, the class, they decided to make like a Facebook group page, and I was like, okay. And some of the stuff they posted on like the description of the group page, I'm like, I don't even remember any of this. Like they're like, hey, this is our page for all of us that remember pineapple smoking across the street. I'm like, we were smoking pineapples? I don't remember this. And then one of the only posts that have showed up after this group was created was like, one of the guys was like, hey, who pinched Mrs. Perry's ass in biology? I remember it like it was yesterday, but I can't remember who did it. And I'm like, what? I don't even remember this. And then
likely story, Steve.
One of the guys writes like 3 comments and he goes, that was me. And I was like, and then you read, like, click on that guy's link. He's like now like a well-respected police officer or something like doing things in in Brooklyn. And I'm just like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Different times, man.
Different times, man.
Poor Miss Perry.
Yeah, Miss Perry had to put up with a lot. You tool sheds.
I don't remember anyone grabbing her ass, but I guess someone did.
Well,
I don't even remember Miss Perry, to be honest with
I
you.
feel like you might have been a little. Were you a little altered every once in a while? No, you really weren't.
I was squeaky clean in high school, man.
And you just don't remember stuff.
I didn't smoke any pineapples.
Any concussion protocols at all that need to be done?
Well, one teacher used to hit us all a lot.
Oh, well, that could be.
Jeez.
Yeah, that could be the thing, right?
Yeah, this guy would go around. I think I told this story before, but he was our history teacher, and he was also the baseball coach, and he was just Mr. Murak. He was just a badass. He did not take any crap from anybody, right? So the first day of class, and this was a tradition for him, he would grab the little wood thing on the shade for your window. So that little wood piece that keeps the shade from kind of like just...
Oh, I remember those things. Yeah, the bottom of the shade.
Yeah, it was almost like a ruler. And
you could slide in and slide out of the little opening
Exactly. There. So he would just say, hey, welcome to class. This is me, blah, blah, blah. And he'd pull it out. And then he would walk around asking simple questions. And if you got it wrong, he'd hit you with it.
Jeez. That's how they did it. You're right. Rev.
History was the most terrifying class in all of high school.
God, and our parents sanctioned this, going, yeah, he deserves to be hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what they call tough love.
Well, it's called something.
Yeah.
He's dead now, so we won.
It's a great way to look at it. Yeah. Great way to look at it. We'll show you, buddy.
I mean, I remember thinking that. I was like, what did I agree on? Like, my parents like, we're going to send you to a all-boy Catholic high school. I'm like, fine. My buddy Chris is going to. I kind of wanted to go to the public school. But they were just like, well, someone just got murdered last week there. And they were like, that was part of the decision. Like, somebody got murdered at the school.
Yeah.
So they decided, we need to send you to a Catholic. And my brother went to that public school, and he got kicked out because he would get in fights all the time. It was like a very rough and tumble kind of a high school. And I was like, but that's where all of my friends are going. They're like, well, Chris isn't going there. I'm like, okay, I'll go with her then. And then on the first day of class, I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be our safe haven, and this teacher's hitting us.
Well, this is how you keep people from fighting each other. The teachers fight you instead.
I was just like, and I didn't dare tell my parents. Like, we were all terrified. Like, are you telling your parents? No. Like, I don't know what this guy would do to us if we told.
Yeah, and that unfortunately was how it was back then. And in my time, you were afraid to tell your parents about anything that was really inappropriate, and that really was not a good recipe. As a lot of people, you bring it up, Steve, because I just watched that great documentary on Craig Carton, a radio guy, called Wild Card on HBO, and it talks about his whole life. And Yeah, Steve. You were fortunate that that's probably the worst thing that happened to you, but because you're afraid to tell your parents, because they would put the fear of God in you. A lot of those authority figures.
I couldn't even imagine what would the nuns do to us.
Yeah,
there was always the rumors of the nuns.
Oh, dude, yeah, I've heard about those.
You figure like, okay, so they can't have anybody ever in their life. They just got to be okay. They're mad. They're mad at us.
And I think a lot of it was exaggerated. Like, when it's like, hey, did you hear about what the sisters did to Joey? And it's like, like 10 years ago, one of them killed a kid.
Oh, well.
It's like, what?
Maybe exaggerated.
What kind of weird crime family is this?
And then you find out later on when you hear about the Catholic Church, you're going, kind of was like a crime family.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Go Clippers.
Did you guys have, speaking of Clippers, did you guys have a barber on site?
No.
So my dad says in Mexico they had a dress code and that they had to have their hair really short. So the principal would come up, or any teacher, and would grab your hair. And if they could grab a good chunk of it, like pull on your hair, then they would send you to the school barber. And my dad said the school barber was just the most horrible, worse than any teacher. He was just so mean. So my dad would butter him up, bring him magazines, bring him some snacks and stuff, because he would mess up your hair if you had to go to the school barber. So
wow, a school barber,
right? So I was
Is your dad afraid that I'm going to mess with his hair? Is that why he gives me fruit snacks all the time?
Yes, he's afraid. Don't mess with my dad's hair; it's beautiful.
Right, it is nice. Yeah. Very jealous.
But I was curious if Catholic schools did that too.
We did not have a barber on site.
Vicky, seriously, you can have a lot of empathy for your parents' generation if you just talk to them and go, hey, can you tell me some weird stuff that went on when you were a kid?
Yeah, right.
Because you know what? Because kids today, they just can't fathom a world where that stuff went on. And I think that's something, it's always good to find out what used to go on to realize just how good this place is now. It could be a lot better, but it is surely a lot better than I grew up. That's for sure.
One texter says I was 45. I'm 45 now. I got spanked by my principal in elementary school. Totally okay with my parents. School called and then they approved. Life was different for sure.
Yeah.
And someone else had a history teacher that would hit people with the yardstick. They said, it was in high school. They'd walk around the class during a test and smack a yardstick on the desk and then yell, meow.
Yeah.
I feel like I clicked on those thumbnails.
Yeah,
right.
There's something wrong right there.
Man, Mr. Murak didn't meow at us.
No.
It's more like an aggressive DMX bark. Oh.
You got to meow, man. You got to care about those kids.
That's terrifying.
Let them know that everything's okay with the meow after you slap them in the head with a stick.
It's a whole different kind of class.
Yeah.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I know if bankruptcy is going to provide me with relief? What are the steps for my situation?
There's so much information out there about bankruptcy with the internet and what people have heard from friends and other people that they've talked to about their financial issues or bankruptcy. There's also a lot of bad information out there or urban legends about bankruptcy. In order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you need to talk to an attorney that's experienced in bankruptcy. So in order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you should talk to an experienced bankruptcy attorney. And my job is not to convince you to file bankruptcy. My job is to help you to make that decision and have all the facts so that you can make an informed decision about whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, what benefits it's going to have for you, and what the downside of filing bankruptcy is.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.